Joining me now is Bina Paul, award-winning film editor from Kerala and someone who's taken up this issue very strongly as part of the Women in Cinema Collective. Appreciate your joining us, ma'am. The Hema Committee report has raised a storm because it seems to suggest that the Malayalam film industry is seeing the kind of sexual harassment that perhaps for the first time is being uncovered on this scale. Is this a tip of the iceberg in your view? Or is there a danger of tarring the entire industry with one brush?
Certainly there's a danger of tarring the industry with one brush, simply because the Hema Committee report does not only talk about sexual harassment. It was appointed by the government to look at the entire industry, and it has come up with a whole lot of observations about the nature of the industry. Unfortunately, because sexual harassment is so prevalent, what we are seeing is now a kind of upsurge of this emotion. Women are feeling far more empowered. So I don't want to sort of think of it as a tarnishing of the industry, but a cleansing of the industry, because first of all, a lot of this has to come out, and we need to find ways to deal with it and not pretend it doesn't happen.
You said that sexual harassment has been prevalent. Did it therefore require a committee report like this for it to all come out? Was this one of the worst kept secrets of the Malayalam film industry that has simply come out because now the court intervention has forced the report to be made public?
Rajdeep, I would like to emphasize this is one of the best kept secrets of the entire film industry. I think across the world, perhaps, as we saw with the Me Too movement. But what the Hema Committee report did, and we have to give the government of Kerala that did set up this committee, is the fact that it was actually studied and found to be true. That was, it was not just some gossip, it wasn't only scandal, it wasn't something. And I think what has happened is that this, as I said, this shroud of silence, when you have a committee pointing it out, I think it has empowered the women. And I think this is a very, very important moment, and we should not let it pass with only this, is what WCC feels very strongly.
But what's happened so far is a couple of big names or a couple of names have come out and they've been forced to either step down from their positions or they've been named and shamed. Do you believe that, as I said at the outset, that there could be many more? This is the tip of the iceberg. There could be many more names, possibly bigger names, which are still to come out. Will this now empower more women to speak out?
We don't know. We really don't know. The media plays a big part in this as well, and there is a lot of attention being given. We don't know how it's going to pan out. We can only say that the women who are speaking, we support you. There are systems in place that will protect you, which will make sure that these things don't happen again. I think that is the way to look at it. Whether there will be more revelations, whether there are more women, one really doesn't know. But one does know that even what has happened now is quite shocking and needed to be done, so that you sort of have to bend the stick backwards to straighten it.
But what's interesting is a number of the male stars don't seem to be speaking out. You know, it seems to be at the moment almost like a gender divide. Why are we not seeing some of the big names of the Malayalam film industry, the Mammootties, the Mohanlals? Why are they not speaking out? Is there a sense that everyone is waiting and watching to see where this investigation finally leads?
Well, you really have to ask them. We have been very vocal. We have said there is a report. We believe in this report. There are recommendations. We would like to sit across the table, talk about it, together try and implement. So why they are not talking, I'm afraid you'll have to ask them, because we would have said that, look, this is the time to join forces and sort of set all this right.
You know, but when I look at some of the findings of the report, sexual demands for entry into the Malayalam industry, sexual harassment and assault at the workplace, torture if they resent sexual demands, demeaning vulgar comments made at workplace. You know, you always thought Kerala was a step ahead of the rest of the country. This is one of the most highly literate states, gender equality. That's perhaps why it's become so surprising. Or is it because Kerala is so gender conscious that women are willing to speak out in a way they may not in other film industries?
Well, I'm not sure about whether it's gender conscious, but I must say that it is because it is Kerala that such a committee was set up. I don't know anywhere else. There have been numerous allegations made all over the country over the last few years, but it is only in Kerala that because of WCC this committee was set up, and I think it is because it's a literate state. It is meeting this head on, and we are really hopeful that this will be the moment for change. I mean, for decades this has been the state, and we've all known it. We've all sort of, everybody's whispered about it, as you can see all the women talking now. But whether this is because it's worse here or better, one can't say, but certainly because it is Kerala, I would say that we are meeting it head on.
No, but is it the Harvey Weinstein moment? Is this the moment where finally, not just Kerala, but possibly across the film industry, other bodies across the country, whether it's Bollywood, whether it's Tollywood, all of them in a sense get empowered to speak out? Do you believe that this could be that kind of moment?
Well, that's again to be seen. We do think it might or might not happen. Certainly it's happening in Kerala. But again, we would like to emphasize that it is not only about sexual harassment. A lot of this frustration comes from the fact that you're not respected at your place of work, that you're not given good enough facilities, that you're not treated as a workforce. You know, so it's a combination of things that is happening actually, because, you know, the allegations are sexual, as you can say, but it comes from a lot of other frustrations as well.
No, but is anything going to change then, these other frustrations that you speak about? I come back to it. You know, Kerala is seen when it comes to gender to be a step ahead of the rest of the country. Are you saying that if actually what this is about the demand for equality, it's about respect at the workplace, and do you see it changing? Do you see anything really changing now?
Exactly. I do. We are very hopeful, Rajdeep. It is a moment where everybody, I mean, I think after this sensational period is over, I think there will be moments when we are all going to sit down together and say, let's change this. So I am certain that we do not want it to pass off with this. And I think that is the role we play as an advocacy group. WCC is very sure that it is not about scandal, it is not about shaming people, witch hunting. It's not that. As far as we are concerned, we respect the women who have come out and spoken. It takes a lot for a woman to come out, but we do not want it to end with just, I mean, the government has set up a high-level police committee. I'm sure there's going to be a legal action taken, but that is not the crux of what we are looking at to change. Because the only thing to change, I mean.
You know, the reason I say this in conclusion is because when we saw the Me Too movement, somewhere down the line it got caught in allegations, counter-allegations, trapped in sensationalism, and eventually did not seem to transform the reality on the ground. Do you see that happening in a specific industry like that of the Malayalam film industry? That this is not about Me Too, this is about, as you said, much more than that.
Exactly. That is what we want. We've seen the Me Too. We've seen how women suffered, how they spoke out, and it came to nothing. The men continue to work. Everything goes on. Life goes on as usual. Business is as usual. All the men who were called out are really actually working. We don't want this to happen here. We want it to be the moment for change, where we say that, look, there are going to be laws, there are going to be ICs, there are going to be facilities for women, and more women are going to enter this industry, which will finally make the difference.
Okay. Bina Paul, on that note, that positive note that you've struck, more power to you and to your advocacy group, and hopefully many others will also now speak out. Thank you so much for joining me. Women speaking out strongly, one way to ensure change.